Herzlich willkommen, liebe Freunde der OFAA, zu dieser Episode unseres Videopodcasts Fiber Voices. Mein Name ist Arno Abler, ich bin Beirat der OFAA und Ihr Gastgeber im Rahmen dieses Podcast-Formats. Heute geht es um das Thema Schweden. Schweden ist Österreich einige Jahre voraus im Glasfaserausbau und wir wollen heute einen Vergleich herstellen, wie dort diese Dinge funktionieren, wie sie angegangen werden und wie das im Vergleich bei uns passiert. Als Interviewgast haben wir den Herrn Thord Swedenhammar gewinnen können, den Deputy CEO des Stockholmer Glasfaserausbauunternehmens Stockholm. Interviewt wird er von Herbert Flatscher, seines Zeichens Vorsitzender des OFAA-Beirats, direkt auf der Messe in Oberwart anlässlich des OFAA Fiber Summit 2025. Das Interview erfolgt in englischer Sprache, wir haben aber deutsche Untertitel beigestellt. Wir wünschen Ihnen ein interessantes Interview mit Thord Swedenhammar.
Open Fiber Austria, das Kompetenzzentrum für offene Glasfasernetze.
Sweden is seen as a pioneer in building open access networks, with Stockholm often described as a leading example. While many countries still struggle with fragmented infrastructure and limited competition, Sweden seems to have found a model that combines broad coverage, high take-up rate, and a solid digital economy. Today we plan to have a closer look at the background of this success. How did Stockholm build its open fiber networks? What policies made it possible? And what lessons can be learned by us to boost open access networks in Austria? Mr. Thord Swedenhammar, I'm very proud having you here in Austria as an expert from Sweden, and we are very interested in your model. Welcome here. I want to start with a personal question here. You live in Sweden, yeah?
Yes.
Where do you live? In a house with garden, with dogs and kids, or somewhere in the city? Yeah.
I live in central Stockholm.
Central Stockholm.
So it's an apartment with my family.
With your family?
Yes,
Yeah.
wife and three children.
Yeah. And life in Stockholm is good, also for kids and
Yes,
family?
Yes, I think so. There are many parks and lots of things for the children to do. So I think Stockholm is a wonderful city.
Yeah. So the same for us, as I live in Vienna. We are proud about Vienna. Probably you're relatively proud about Stockholm. It's a good city to
but
live.
Vienna is a wonderful, beautiful city.
Yeah, no.
I love Vienna.
Yeah.
I celebrated my 40th birthday in Vienna.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Mr. Thord Swedenhammar, you work at Stockholm, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's begin with Stockholm. What is Stockholm?
Well, Stockholm is, we regard ourselves as an infrastructure company. We're wholly owned by the city of Stockholm.
Yeah.
And we deploy, own and lease dark fiber in Stockholm. And some may regard us as a telecom, that we're in the telecom business, since fiber is used for telecommunications. But we always make the point that no, we are an infrastructure or a utility company, since we only own the passive infrastructure on the dark fiber level. So no, we don't activate the fiber ourselves.
So Stockholm is a complete public company owned by the city?
Yes, wholly owned by the city of Stockholm.
In Sweden, is that good or bad?
Well, there can always be political views on that, but in Stockholm, one of the strengths of Stockholm is that there is a broad political consensus from left to right that this is an essential public infrastructure that is important to society as a whole, it should be publicly owned. So there is a political consensus across the spectrum about that. But the key is that we stay on the passive level? Should we climb up a bit in the value chain and compete with our customers? I'm certain that there would not be that political consensus.
I will come back to that a little bit later. That's interesting for us. Yeah. What's your role in Stockholm?
I'm the deputy CEO since 2019.
Yeah.
So I'm part of the management.
Part of the management. Yeah. How many employees does Stockholm have?
Well, we have around 80 employees.
80.
80. 80.
Yeah.
80. In Stockholm proper. And then our subsidiary has around 20 employees. So in total, around 100.
Yeah. And you do nothing else than fiber? No.
We do dark fiber only.
Dark fiber, no copper.
No copper. Certainly not.
Certainly not. Yeah. Sweden is often described as a pioneer in open access fiber networks. How came that? Is it by accident or?
Well, it was a lucky foresight, I should say. Stockholm was one of the pioneer municipalities, but several municipalities in Sweden in the early mid-90s started similar ventures to deploy fiber. And so we have around 170 municipal networks in Sweden.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very large reason behind that.
Yeah. If I ask people in Vienna, do you need fiber access or something like that? Lots of people ask me what's a fiber access. So lots of people don't know what's actually that is. Yeah, probably there's a difference in Sweden. Everyone knows what fiber is. Is that so, or is
more or less? I should say, because if you are going to buy a house or you have a summer house or something, it's regarded as, do you have electricity? Do you have water? Do you have fiber?
Yeah.
It's considered rather important by most, and in most cases, I should say, in rural areas, not so quite as much. Because of costs. And then maybe you should say that a mobile connection would suffice. But certainly, in urban areas, definitely fiber, and I think it has to do with. What's the hen and what's the egg? But since we had an early fiber deployment, it has also changed people's how they consume media and that sort of thing. I should say that very few today in Sweden watch regular television. As scheduled. They stream instead, and then you need high bandwidth.
Yeah. So often in Austria, we say people don't care how the internet access comes into the house, and as long as it works, it's good. Yeah, we do have lots of wireless mobile cubes for internet access, and it's said nobody cares, and it's much easier. You just put something on on your table and it works. Yeah. So the mindset in Sweden is here. Also at the end customer a little bit different. They don't want internet access, they want fiber access. Is that so? Yeah?
Yes, I should say they most important is that they want high capacity. In order to stream, for instance, or kids gaming, then you need high capacity. And also businesses, many in the tech sector and the financial sector and the like need high capacity, and copper doesn't suffice. You need fiber. So it's not fiber per se, but what fiber enables that is in demand.
So it's relatively clear in Austria already that in the rural area, these open access networks are a good idea. Yeah, because the costs are high, and sharing this passive infrastructure on the commercial side is a good idea anyhow. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but it's not so clear for a city. So it's relatively interesting how Stockholm or how Stockholm, if to say that, came to the idea. Yeah, let's do the same for a big city as well.
Yes, I should say that when Stockholm was founded, it was in part because the city. It was at the time that the telecom market in Sweden was deregulated, and the city didn't want to be dependent on the incumbent, the old monopoly, the old state monopoly. So an idea in the city was that, well, let's make our own infrastructure, but also the very practical aspect that you don't want people digging in the streets all the time, and that is certainly for in an urban context, because I mean you have the electricity company and you have the gas company and whatnot digging in the streets all the time, and then you should have fiber as well. So the idea was, well, let's do this once, and then have asset sharing and an open access to this infrastructure once it's deployed, because that's one of the virtues of our business model, that we when we dig, we place, let's say, 4 ducts, and each duct can take 4 cables. Well, in the 90s, maybe we had 96 fiber cable. Now we replace them with 1,000 fiber cable, but we don't have to dig up the street again to do it.
So the motivation for the politician was not letting the telecom, because in Austria our politics often is happy not to have additional problems. So have someone who does it for them is generally not the worst approach, I would say. So it must be on a political wish list to bring something to the better, and then so digging only once, probably also a little bit on a planned manner. This was one of the motivation, probably.
Definitely.
So the outlook, letting the former incumbent do that, was not perfect in that days.
No, it wasn't. But I should be frank and say that nobody at the time then realized the full potential of fiber as we can see today, 30 years later. I mean, digitalization hadn't gone that far. So in those days, the question was also asked, well, what do you need so much fiber for? What's the purpose? Who needs it? I mean, I have my modem for surfing on the internet. That's quite enough. It's 28K or something. So it was a lucky foresight. But it was certainly motivated by fostering competition. That was one of the ideas, that if you have this open access on this infrastructure, it's open to everybody, and everybody can compete and innovate on top of this infrastructure, and that has proven very successful.
So what's the main how could you say it? How do you think? Do you offer your fiber cables? I'm an operator in Stockholm, and I come to you and I say, I do have my data center system, and I want to have a point-to-point connection to a specific address. So I just can do it.
Yes.
We have to sign a contract, probably.
Yes, we do.
And each service has its price. Is it a flat rate what I have to pay for one fiber?
It depends on the length of the fiber. And also, I mean,
but you don't measure it by a meter price, or is
No, I mean, we measure it by the length. If it's a point to point, it's from A to B. How much, as the bird flies, how long is the distance, and that's an equal price for everyone.
Okay. The longer, the more expensive.
Yes, in general. Yes.
Is a 200 meter double the price of 100 meter?
Yes, more or less. Yes.
So you pay rent for infrastructure in that case.
Yes.
How standardized is that business model? Is this is a single mode fiber or two fiber cables, or is it?
Well, it depends. I mean, first of all, it depends on what our customers demand. I mean, it's possible to lease fiber in several different ways, but point to point, I would say is the most common, and most in demand. But I mean, we have also deployed fiber to all multi-dwelling units in Stockholm with two fibers, a fiber pair for each apartment. So there is that.
I'm a service provider now, and of course I would say, the StockHub is also some kind of a monopoly, and I don't want to pay that price because I think this price is too high. Who regulates that? Or is it regulated?
Well, formally it's regulated by the National Regulatory Authority, PTS, in Sweden. I mean, they have that role as in all EU member countries. But in the case you describe, if you think our price is too high, well, then go to our competitor. There is competition also on the infrastructure level in most areas.
There is competition.
Yes.
So there is not the only StockHub.
Not only StockHub. I mean, I should say the incumbent has parallel infrastructure to ours almost everywhere.
So there is competition,
Yes.
and therefore this is more or less a market price.
Yes, I should say it is.
Yeah. That's interesting. A little bit to the technique here. One thing is the fiber cable. The other thing is the digitalization or the digital twin of it. What IT systems do you run? So do you have a portal like Amazon and like just can order fiber, or how is that organized?
Well, yes, we do. I mean, we have a what's it called? An interface for our customers to order, to place orders.
API, probably,
API,
some kind of API.
Yes, and also a portal for our customers, a web portal for our customers. So there's that, and then of course we have the documentation system where basically a map. Where are the fibers? How are they connected? Things like that, and a CRM system to keep check of everything.
We see in Austria the most mess, let's say that way. The nearer to the customer, the bigger the problem. So you are responsible for the complete point-to-point connection to directly in the flat of a customer. Is that right?
No. We terminate generally in the basement of let's say a house, and then it's the property owner that takes fiber up to the apartments in the building.
So the in-house system is owned by the building owner.
And the property owner or somebody else. Sometimes the operators say, well, we can fix fiber inside your building, but then it's connected to StockHub's fiber in the basement.
In the basement.
And from there it goes out.
How is that organized physically? Is this a batch board, optical batch board, or in the basement, or is it a rack where you have?
It's an ODF.
It's an ODF.
Yeah.
And with plugs or with do you have to splice in the cellar, in the basement?
But I'm afraid that goes a bit beyond my knowledge.
I
know that we place an ODF there, and then it's connected from there up into the building.
Okay. But you're responsible and a little bit in the basement of the house. So if a customer complains there is no internet, on he will call the service provider, and the service provider will then call you. Probably there is a problem with you, and your people's at least measure is there a point-to-point fiber connection to the basement. If not, also.
The end customers would contact the operator and say, "Hey, I got no internet. What's wrong?" But we can't, since we only operate a passive network, we can't monitor ourselves if there is for instance, a breakage. We are notified by our customers. Hey, there's a breakage here. And then we have to go fix it.
And how came you over to the problem that the house owner had to install their own fiber system? Yeah, did they do it because they did it because in new building it's clear. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is relatively simple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But most buildings in Stockholm are older,
Yeah.
from the 19th century.
How did that happen in older buildings?
Well, many times the operators make a deal. They say, well, you get if we provide internet to you for say 3 or 5 years at a fixed rate, then we can deploy fiber in the building.
Yeah.
In that way. Other times, many buildings have coaxial for cable TV since earlier, and then they connect that.
Okay. So coaxial lines are still used for
sometimes.
So service provider use it for in-house connectivity still copper
sometimes.
and to have fiber in the basement.
Yeah.
But if one customer really wants his own fiber connection, it's just building the line inside the house. You do have now open access systems for years in Sweden. How does this change during the years? Yeah, because you started maybe 20 years ago. Yeah,
30 years ago.
30 years ago. Yeah. What are the most important changes in the business models, or were there big changes?
Well, yes, I should say that the business model, like Stockholm, and with a municipally owned network, it has gained recognition. At the start, it was looked upon with a bit of suspicion. Is this really something that municipalities should do?
Mm-hmm.
What have municipalities to do with the internet? That type of attitude. But with digitalization and more services in society depending on this infrastructure, it has become clear, it has become evident that yes, this is a critical infrastructure for society, and it is a very good thing that it's municipality owned, because it's a public utility, roads or sewage. We need it to be in the public sector. So I should say that, and not least these past few years, it's become even more evident that yes, this is a critical infrastructure for society, that it is, and it's a good thing that it's publicly owned. And that was not the case at the start.
Mm-hmm. But it's clear now, and everyone is happy more or less with the situation.
More or less.
More or less. Yeah. So it's a real fascinating system here in Stockholm, and I would say this must be copied by almost each city in Europe already. Is it?
No, it's not.
It's not.
No. I mean, it differs so very much in Europe from country to country. It depends on the regulatory environment and many things, institutions, politics. There are similar ventures in some places in Europe. I think in Austria as well. Lehren Österreich.
In the rural area, we adapted this open access model already. And we think about doing the same in the cities, but there's quite a way to go. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that might be a challenge, because I mean, of course, that was a good thing for Stockholm that we were early. So the market wasn't taken, so to speak. Now it's a mature market, and that might, of course, be an impediment. On the other hand, I think now, as opposed to the early 90s, it's clear what does this infrastructure enable. So it can be motivated politically and financially, that this infrastructure, we can see the benefits of it, you can see the profits of it, in a way that we couldn't do in the early 90s.
Internet often is seen here as the tool for looking Netflix or other streaming things,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah. And we're often speaking about the fiber is so much more than just looking videos over the internet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are there new things you provide in Sweden over your network?
Well, yes. I think to start with, the fact that you have an open infrastructure of fiber, that in itself enables innovation in services in ways that we as a network provider we can't foresee it, but we know that the infrastructure makes it possible. So the tech industry in Stockholm has been successful very much thanks to the abundance of open fiber. And I think that more and more services become digitalized. I mean health services and smart city solutions for lighting or um, measuring particle emissions, what have you. So I think the possibilities are endless. I think in 20 years' time, we will use fiber for things that we can't foresee today.
What's about the future of Stockholm? Are we ready already with the complete networks? And what are here the next steps in Stockholm?
Well, now the market is rather mature, but we still, since the city still builds new housing, we expand in those areas, and we strengthen the network that we have. Because one driving idea is that there should be an endless supply of fiber in Stockholm. Anyone coming to Stockholm and demanding fiber should have it, meaning that we have to, as I mentioned earlier, if we had 96 fibers in the 90s, now we have 1,000 fibers. So there should be an endless supply of fiber. But the business model remains the same and will always remain the same.
If you look into your history, so the other side, what would were there things which you wouldn't do it once more? Is there something to learn what not to do, or what is it? Because it looks like a success story.
Well, not to boast, but we think it is a success story. But yes, I think that maybe with the way things are in the world, I think that working with an even bigger focus on robustness is an important takeaway. We've always done it, but maybe not with the frame of mind that we have today.
Price is always a thing,
Price is always a thing, and security is always expensive. And doesn't necessarily make a profit.
At the end, you need a compromise somehow, But you say probably the compromise was a little bit too low sometimes, or.
Well, no, not really, but I think that in the early 90s we couldn't predict just how very essential this infrastructure would be to society and to the functioning of society, to make payments in when you buy food or anything, or for commuting or everything that depends on fiber today, and that realization makes it even more important to focus on robustness and redundancy than before. Goes for us, goes for our customers as well, to think of redundancy.
From my side, Mr. Swedenhammar, I'm very happy for your answers. Is there something you want to tell us in Austria?
Well, if I should have one takeaway message, it would be that what we have learned in the Stockholm experience is the importance of separating the infrastructure from the services. And we try to explain this also to the European Commission when they work with legislation for our sector. We say that don't regard telecoms as a bundle, services and infrastructure bundled. infrastructure is one thing, services are another, and that's very important.
Yeah. So you don't operate this service even as a wholesale only network or something. You do nothing. You provide passive infrastructure.
Passive infrastructure only,
and that's it. Yeah.
Yes, only dark fiber.
Only dark fiber. That's the color.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Was a pleasure.
Liebe Freunde der OFA, wir haben gehört, dass Schweden seit 30 Jahren einen eigenen Weg im Glasfaserausbau beschritten hat, einen sehr erfolgreichen Weg, der auch in weiten Teilen in Österreich auf ähnliche Art und Weise verfolgt wird. Wenn auch Sie diese Episode interessant gefunden haben, würden wir uns darüber freuen, wenn Sie uns ein Like dalassen und gegebenenfalls unseren Kanal abonnieren. Sollten Sie Fragen, Anregungen, Ergänzungen zu diesem Themenfeld haben, schreiben Sie diese bitte gerne in die Kommentare. Wir werden versuchen, sie zeitnah zu beantworten. Wir sehen uns in einer der nächsten Folgen. Servus, bis zum nächsten Mal.